Hey Virgo, it's IyaPatsy, and I am here to do a feminine inner child reading for you. And I just have to tell you that I have been trying to do this since 11:30 this morning, but my computer has needed to be updated and drivers and all that other stuff. There was something going on with the microphone, so I wasn't able to get started until just now. So I was determined to do this for you and because I need to get them all done, and I still have quite a few more to do. But Virgo, I've been thinking about this reading, and this I've gotten a few messages. So now these messages are channeled messages. They may or may not have anything to do with the lesson that we're going to talk about, because this is not really going to be a reading. This is more about talking about how to heal that feminine energy, right? But I got these messages that someone, not everybody, Virgo, is triggered by the holidays, by Christmas time. And I kept getting that song, Oh Holy Night, and the part I got, it says, fall upon your knees and hear the angels calling. So this may be a time for some of you that you need to do some praying, okay? When you're feeling triggered by this time, you're feeling depressed at this time, um, right now it's the holiday season, but whenever you see this um, message, if it resonates with you, then it's for you at that time. Um, it could also talk about maybe there's a child that is going to be born around this time, or there may be a pregnancy announced around this time, right? So, also, I'm also getting that some of you are going on vacation or you need to go on a vacation. You may be moving jobs, or you just may be moving. You may be changing jobs. You could be given 2 weeks' notice, but there's something about taking a break from one thing and going to another. Okay, so, and then I got at 6:57, 18:57 today. Um, I just don't want to be a fool ever again by Luther Vandross. So maybe there's something about this season that triggers you, and you just don't want to allow yourself to be taken advantage of, or you just don't want to get into that depressed state, that mood. Um, Maybe there's family that you are anticipating having to see for the holidays, and maybe you feel like they take advantage of you, or they just, it always turns into an argument or a fight. You just don't want to be around it. That could also be it. Virgo. Let me see. Was there anything else I got? Um, no, nothing that I can think of right now. So that may resonate for someone of you, Virgos. And do me a favor, when you're finished with this video, please share this with someone else, a female, um, a woman, it could be anybody actually, but anybody that's born in the sign of Virgo, because the masculines, those who identify as men, as male or masculine energies, still we all have feminine energies inside of us. And right now, the reason a lot of us are stuck is because we're not letting our feminine energy live, right? We're not attending to those hurts that hurt her when she was small. Okay, so there were hurts that went on in your life, whether you're a boy or a girl, that affected that feminine side of you. And what I hope to do in this reading by using these inner child fairy tale cards, and that's Fairy Tale Tarot. I've used these earlier when I first started the channel, and you can go back and look at those readings. Maybe they may help you also. But the inner child cards are by Isha Lerner and Mark Lerner, and illustrated by Christopher Guilfoyle. So, really good book. And like I said, this is my, I use it quite, I refer to it quite a bit on the channel. But right now, the feminine inner child needs some attention. And so we're going to see if we can give her some today. So what I did is, according to this book and the deck, which is a tarot card deck that they have associated with children's fairy tales, right? And we know that these fairy tales were originally written for adults, but they have been modified over the years for children. So, but there's still themes behind them that are very grown up. And the particular fairy tale that is associated with Virgo is Snow White. Snow White. And that would be Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, right? So, the story of Snow White was, when Snow White was born, her mother passed away, right? Snow White's mother was very beautiful, but she died when Snow White was born. But during her pregnancy, she had pricked her finger with a needle, which is a constant theme in these fairy tales, Sleeping Beauty and pricking her finger with the needle. Anyway, Snow White's mother did prick her finger, and the blood that ran out of her finger fell onto the snow. And so she asked that she would have a child that had lips as red as her blood and skin as white as the snow. And so when the baby was born, the baby was named Snow White, right? So the king married, she was a queen. Did I say that? Yeah, okay. So the king remarried another woman who was very beautiful also. And so she raised Snow White as her daughter. And she was very beautiful, but she was also very vain. And after a while, the king got sick, as they tend to do in these fairy tales. And Snow White was left with only her stepmother as her parent because the king passed away. So the queen was left to raise Snow White. And as I said, she had her since she was a baby, so that was her daughter, and she felt that Snow White looked at her as a mother. But over years and over time, Snow White was just looking more and more like her own mother. And this started to get on a little bit of the evil queen, we'll call her that, the evil queen's nerves. So she had a beautiful mirror, and she would look into the mirror and she would say, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" And the mirror would tell her it was her. Well, one day, the mirror let her know that there's someone else that is just as beautiful as you are. And she was upset and wanted to know who this was, and it was Snow White. Well, even though Snow White was only 7 years old, the queen saw that this was not going to go good. So she knew that as Snow White began to get older, she would look more and more beautiful, like her real biological mother. And the queen was not having that. So she called one of her soldiers in and told him, the huntsman, woodsman they called him, I think, woodsman or huntsman something, but she told him to take little Snow White out to the woods and kill her. And she wanted proof of the murder by having him bring her heart back to her. She wanted him to kill her, remove her heart, and bring the heart back to the queen. I think in some stories she was going to eat the heart because then she was going to bring in her heart, her qualities, her beauty, all of that. She figured she would eat the heart. So everybody in the kingdom knows Snow White, of course, and they loved her. She was a baby and the king's daughter. So the woodsman takes Snow White out into the woods, but he just couldn't bring himself to kill her. So what he did is he told her what was supposed to happen, and then he told her to run away. And he killed a baby deer in the woods and brought that heart back to the queen. So the queen was quite satisfied. and she wasn't getting any further information from her mirror telling her anything otherwise, so she was happy. So she was back to being the fairest of them all in the kingdom, and Snow White was no longer in the kingdom, so it was okay. Snow White was only 7 years old, so she wandered around alone, and she found herself in front of a house. And in the house, no one was there, but she saw that people did live there, and they were all short, little tiny beds, 7 of them. And she went and she laid down and she rested. Again, the same type of thing like in Goldilocks, right? Coming across a house with beds in it, and you decide that you're going to go and rest yourself. But again, they're little girls, right? They're innocent, right? And they're trusting. Even after all that she had just gone through, she's still trusting. I'm going to read from the book because I just think the way that they said it was just so beautiful. Um, Snow White, at 7 years of age, is alone in the forest, seeking shelter and protection. She is a symbolic. She is symbolic of wisdom and pilgrimage, right? So this is a spiritual journey that Snow White is on. So that's what this represents. She finds a small cottage with 7 beds and 7 bowls. The number 7 signifying a major spiritual transition. When the dwarves find her, after working all day in the diamond mines, she is fast asleep in one of their beds. In the original version of the story, the dwarves are gnomes. Gnomes represent wisdom, earthly wisdom, and inner light shining from within the depths of the planet. Snow White begins to grow into her higher wisdom by taking care of the gnomes, by cleaning their house and making meals for them. So by giving service to the gnomes, she's gaining information. She's gaining that history. She's gaining that connection to the earth and to the underground. The wicked queen finds out that Snow White is still alive by asking the magic mirror again, who's the fairest in the land. Over many years, the stepmother tries to kill Snow White 3 more times. The first time, disguised as a merchant selling lace, the queen gives her some material and she pulls it too tight around her waist. So the queen gave material to Snow White, and Snow White pulled the material too tightly around her waist, and then she faints due to the restriction of her breathing. That represents spirit. Later, she's found by the gnomes and they revive her. In the second encounter, the stepmother, the evil queen, transforms herself into a woman selling combs. Snow White is tricked again and buys one, poisoning her head and her scalp, which represent her ego and her identity, right? Woman's hair is her crown and glory, right? So her ego and her identity are poisoned by this woman with this comb. The gnomes come and rescue her again. And in the third experience, the stepmother changes herself into an old woman selling apples, which she had already secretly poisoned. Snow White, still lacking discretion and discrimination, takes a bit of the poisoned apple and appears to fall dead. Actually, she falls into a deep coma from which the gnomes cannot revive her. The earthly wisdom has run its course, and Snow White is ready for her final initiation. So she's learned all that she could learn with the gnomes from the earth and the underground. And now she's getting ready to be initiated. But she cannot stay in the cottage because that would be staying in the darkness forever. So the gnomes place her in a glass coffin and place her where the light will be streaming through so that the light can illuminate her body and her soul and her heart. So by being laid to rest and put into the coffin in the middle of the forest and having the sun illuminate her, she comes into the light. She's no longer inside of the cottage, she's in the light. Her inner service, all the dutiful work that she did for the gnomes, her cleaning, her nurturing others, her humility, all that's been completed. And then the prince comes and he picks her up because he sees how beautiful she is. And he picks her up and holds her in his arms to take her onto his horse. And as he picks her up, the poison apple becomes dislodged from her throat. This is symbolic of the clearing of the throat chakra and the re-empowerment of Snow White's primal wisdom. Because remember, Snow White has grown up. She's an adult now, a young, older teenager, young adult. United with her animus, the prince, she has become crowned, the seventh chakra, in wholeness and light. So her throat chakra got cleared and her crown chakra was enlightened. So traditionally, this card is represented by the hermit. So I got several different decks and I pulled out all the cards that are nines because the hermit is number 9 in the regular tarot deck. And I said, well, let's see what we could learn about this energy that maybe help us point out where the hurt is and see if we can at least address it. Because once you identify it and you call it out, then it's not so scary, right? Like any negativity. So the hermit, number 9. And he represents looking for answers to life's problems, talking about withdrawing in order to find the answer to questions, needing peace and quiet, making decisions cautiously, taking advice from others, meeting with someone who will defend, inspire, or protect you. Also talks about a vacation or a sabbatical. Follow your heart, not the crowd. That's the hermit in the upright. But since we're talking about hurts, let's see what it is in the reverse. This talks about just trusting others, refusing to listen to others' advice, and this short-sightedness may be your undoing. Dwelling in the past is holding you back from progress. Rushing to decisions creates most of your problems. If you keep doing what you have always done, the results will be the same. Rely on others and trust their judgment. So this is about surrendering. This is about listening. This is about holding the tongue, maybe, holding back your opinion, allowing someone else to take the lead. So maybe because of the distrust that you have experienced in your life growing up, maybe that is what you're grappling with. Now, none of this, remember, none of this is accidental. This is part of your journey. You were supposed to go through whatever it is that you've gone through to get to this point so that you can heal, because you signed up to do this work on your way in for some reason. So you could be clearing up karma from previous lifetimes, or you could be clearing up family karma, generational karma that you had nothing to do with, but you're experiencing those things to bring you to this point so that you can address it, because you're chosen to do that on behalf of your tribe, on behalf of your family. So let's not look at it as a burden, look at it as an honor, right? I know. So, Virgo. So we have the Hermit in the Hoodoo deck, and that's from the Casanova deck, which is a new deck that I got, and I'll take a look and see what that means in that deck. We have Dr. Grant, right? So again, this is someone who's seeking answers. You could be working with herbs. You could be working with, you could be into plants. You could be into animals, nature. Maybe you are, make baths, or you take spiritual baths, or you know how to heal. You may have the ability to heal. You could be associated with the medicine field. So you could be a nurse, a doctor, um, assistant, nurse's assistant, orderly, something like that in the hospital. You could be that. You could be working in any field actually where you're helping people and helping yourself and educating others, maybe. So could be a health, a dietitian, right? A guru, something like that. But the hermit does a lot of introspection, all right, alone, and it gets into deep thoughts and is enlightened. Number 9, fulfillment of wishes. Number 9, solitude. Number 9, suffering in silence. Number 9, material harvest. Number 18, which adds up to 9, the moon. Secrets, things that keeping close to your chest. Number 9, spiritual strength. Number 99, compassion. Number 9, completion. So I think that this overall is saying that this is a lesson in compassion for yourself. This is about learning to have compassion for yourself in order to get what it is that you dream of. You're looking for your wishes to be fulfilled, and they will be. There will be a material harvest, right? So you're an earth sign. Earth sign is about money and business. And so you want to be comfortable, and you're seeking harvest from that. You may be going to school, trying to better yourself, maybe get a degree, right? And you could be doing a lot of studying, a lot of reading. Maybe you're not letting everybody know what's going on. Maybe you are staying by yourself. Maybe you don't want to share your dreams and your wishes with everyone. Or you could be going through, maybe the work is harder than you anticipated it to be, but you're not saying anything, keeping it to yourself. But it's hard. Spiritual strength. You're showing a lot of strength. So in the past, if this is connected to your childhood, and this is what this is about, so you may have been alone, you may have been left alone, you may have been abandoned, you may have been alone because someone was working, because of your parent was working. You may have been in a situation where you lost a parent, where you became an orphan, or at least you lost one parent. You could have lost a maternal figure, Or for some of you, you had a maternal figure who was your mother who was jealous of you, who maybe you looked like her or you looked like someone in the family who she always had competition with herself growing up, and now you're born and you look like this person or you remind her of this person. Some of your mannerisms, maybe some of your talents, you know, maybe it could be anything. It could be something that's not obvious to everybody, but it's something that that person, and it could be a father or a sister. It could be a sister or aunt. I'm getting mostly feminine energy, so it could be, but not necessarily. But it's someone maybe that you grew up with, someone who was a parental figure like Snow White's stepmother, who had a resentment towards you, who envied your beauty, envied your talent, envied something about you. Could have envied your relationship with the other parent for some of you. And maybe you weren't able to say anything about it. Oh, don't talk about my hands. My fingernails are not done, and so this is gloves. Got a bright idea, so I'm gonna not worry about my nails. I'll just wear gloves. It's more for me than for you. um, yeah, you may have had a situation like that. You may have had an older sibling or a sibling, a cousin, somebody, your mother, who found herself resentful of you or jealous of you because of your looks or because you looked like someone that she didn't like or someone that she was jealous of, or you acted like that person. Maybe you acted like someone on the other side of the family that she didn't like, or you looked like them, or they favored you or something. But for some of you there was some kind of jealousy that was right in your home, your household. For others of you, you could have had a situation where your parent didn't take up for you. So like the king was dead, might as well have been, because he never stood up for Snow White because he was dead. But I'm saying in your situation, maybe you were in a situation where your parent took the side of your step parent, or your father took the side of your mother, or he let her handle everything, or vice versa. And that may have made you feel like you were suffering in silence because maybe you saw a lot that was going on. There was something about your image or their image, not wanting people to know what was going on behind closed doors. There may have been some things that went on behind closed doors that weren't nice. It could have been some kind of verbal abuse, physical abuse. For somebody, it could have been even sexual abuse by a mother figure. Or you could have witnessed just some people just have, bad tempers and things like that. And perhaps that was something that you watched and you began to withdraw because of that. I want to take a look at this moon and this hermit in the Casanova deck, Casanova Tarot. Let's see this Casanova Tarot. It comes with a little tiny guidebook like Scabero usually does, with I think the 6 English, Italian, Spanish, French, Dutch, and Portuguese. So we put English at the beginning. Thank you. For the moon, that first talks about romanticism and sentimentality. So you could be thinking about someone or something from the past. You could be thinking about your childhood because we're talking about it, or you're thinking about it because you're trying to heal it and you came across this video. Good for you. And for spirit, right? This talks about illusions, enchantment, the attraction of the unknown, infatuations, and dreams. And this is the Grand Canal of the Church of St. Martha de la Salette And so this is a real place. So they're giving you that background. And this is about a love that only lasts till dawn. So that may be why you feel solitude. For some of you, maybe you were you have been in relationships where you felt, like I said, abandoned, where it was only not just one night stands, but you only saw the person for the time that you were together, and when you all weren't being together physically, you weren't around them at all, right? So it wasn't really a one night stand. It could have been a repeated partnership, whatever you want to call, booty call. I don't know what you're going to call, but this is something that may have been going on for a long time for you. And it's a secret, it's a fantasy of yours, and you keep it to yourself. And that could be the suffering in silence. Or maybe you had a desire to be with that other parent when you were a kid and you couldn't say anything about it. Or maybe you found out that you had a different parent than the rest of your siblings and you had to keep that to yourself and suffer in silence. And it took a lot of spiritual strength because you had a lot to carry, a lot to hold up. There was a lot over your head. But again, this is what you signed up for. So let's look at it like that. Even though it was uncomfortable, this you could handle it. They knew that you would be able to handle it. Your ancestors trusted that you could handle it. The Hermit talks about inner searching, isolation, spirituality, renunciation, silence, chastity, detachment, consolation, and welcome. So you may have had a fine childhood. You may have, been very open and studious and friendly and responsible, but you still felt alone. You still felt alone, or over time, you have come to want to find out what is life about. Maybe you felt that you were raised in a way that you were spoiled, right? And that could have made you feel like maybe undeserving. Some of you may have felt undeserving. I'm getting that. You may have been well taken care of as a child, and maybe you felt undeserving, and so now as an adult, you don't allow yourself to be pampered. You want to take care of yourself, you want to handle things yourself. You have your own goals and your own thoughts, and you want to be independent. You want to find out the answers on your own. Mm. Now, from the Barbieri deck, Sagittarius is represented by the number 9, because Sagittarius is the 9th planet. So some of you could have a parent who was the Sagittarius or fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. You could have that in your chart. Maybe your other parent did, or the parent, or the person, the sibling, whoever, that may have made you feel uncomfortable, or you felt that they were jealous of you, or they were always looking at what you had as opposed to what they had, comparing. Could be a fire sign. Or like I said, you could have Sagittarius in your own chart, or you could have fire in your chart, or that person does. So that could be a clue to help you with that. You also could be dealing with another earth sign. Mm. Yeah, earth and fire. Maybe swords, but not really. Not a lot of expression, more inner contemplation. And that may have always been how things were with you. You kept things to yourself. You didn't tell people, you didn't tell anybody what you were feeling. You might not have told anybody that you felt that your mother was jealous of you. You may have kept that to yourself. But maybe she didn't keep it to herself. But maybe she didn't say it where, maybe she only said it behind closed doors, or maybe she only said it when it was the two of you together, or maybe only you and your siblings. Like maybe your other parent, your father, may not have known that she felt like that about you. Or maybe he did and he didn't say anything, because like I said, the king maybe didn't stand up for you and he let it go on and he didn't do anything to stop it. I hope my microphone is working. That was the problem with the computer today. So just know that you have completed this karmic cycle because of your compassion, because you had compassion for this person. You, even though they treated you this way, even though they abandoned you, you focused on yourself. You focused on bettering. You are focusing now. Some of you, you are currently doing this, focusing on bettering yourself, right? So you can make your own dreams come true, your own material harvest, not having to wonder or worry about relying on anybody. You're becoming independent, or this situation has caused you to be independent, to be different. But even in that, you have done a lot of praying, a lot of research, right? Learning new things, opening yourself up to spirit, gaining spiritual strength through all of this. You've had compassion for yourself, but you didn't give yourself a pity party. You decided to get up and make things happen for yourself. You decided to plant the seeds, or you're doing it now. And if that's what you're doing now, your wishes are going to be fulfilled. Some of you could be moving, maybe, I don't know, I'm saying Georgia because this is reminding me of a peach. So some of you could be in Georgia or going to Georgia, Atlanta, for somebody. Thinking about it, moving to Atlanta. Maybe that's where you feel that you'll get your spiritual strength, or you'll be able to put your best foot forward, or make the best use of your independence, or whatever. Maybe you have a job that's going to transfer you. I don't know. You could be in Georgia when I'm talking to you, but you've shown compassion for the people around you, even maybe the king that didn't come to your rescue, right? Maybe for some of you, maybe you have been that damsel in distress, waiting for the prince to come and save you, or to be your mouthpiece, to speak for you, to defend you, to speak, to see your suffering and speak in your behalf or help you to get away. That could have been what you have been taught to do. Maybe that was the example that was set. Yeah, it was something about damsels in distress. I thought I wrote that. I don't know if I said it already. I can't remember. But yeah, that could be also that you may have somehow wanted to be rescued, or wanted your other parent to stand up for you and defend you against this step parent or parent. Or if you were in foster care, maybe you wanted the social worker or somebody to stand up for you, or the judge. a lawyer, or someone to come and take you out of that situation. But you stayed because you had no choice, because you were a child. The Hermit in the Light Seers deck talks about meditation and contemplation and withdrawing from society, loneliness, seeking. What is that? Oh no, that wasn't supposed to be doing that.
Welcome to the Reality
No,
Revolution.
no, no.
Today,
YouTube
we
will
have a very special episode.
kill us.
This is a sleep
Stop.
meditation.
I'm not sleeping. Anyway, there's a sleep meditation to ascend to higher dimensions. Delta 111. Brian Scott channel. So if that's interesting to you, then maybe maybe somebody needed to know that. Let's go back to what we had earlier. I thought it was supposed to be on a loop. I'm so sick of this iPhone. I was telling my friend today I want my Android back. Anyway, sorry about that, folks. The Hermit is, again, isolation, meditation, feeling like a misfit, feeling like you can never heal, like you're always trying to heal, but you can't quite get there. But you have, you have in this cycle, in this life, at this time, or in the very near future, there's going to be an end to the situation. It could be spirit is having compassion for you because you have fought the good fight. You sign a contract, but the details of it, sometimes it could be a bit much, and so the universe has to step in. Could have been too much, and it might have gotten out of hand, and the universe had to step in. So you will get the harvest from all of the suffering because you worked on yourself, you did your work. It's time to make space for yourself and to take care of yourself. Also, check out what your North Node is. Get your birth charts. You can go to Astro. I want to say Afro. Astro Cafe, ASTROCAFE. You can get your birth chart for free and see where your North Node is. That's another thing that you may have to work on, right? If your North Node's in Virgo, then you're good. Your North Node is what you are doing this life. What is it that you came here to achieve, to do? And your South Node is what you learned in your past life, and the talent and the gifts that you learned in your past life will help you obtain your North Node in this life, or help you to work out those issues that you run into dealing with your North Node in this life. So take a look at your birth chart, and then any of these readings, any readings for any reader that they do, and they call, whatever the sign is, if that's your North Node, it may resonate with you also. So whatever the healing is for your sign that's in your North Node, when I finish this series, that may just be the key along with this to help you release and give the inner feminine child some refuge, right? So this is talking about spiritual awakening, deep inner wisdom, and soul purpose. Don't feel that don't start to believe because of all the bad things that have happened that you're going to forever be on a journey of self-discovery, and that your wounds are going to always forever be a part of your identity. when you come from this, when all is said and done, like I said, you look on this whole journey hopefully in a better light. And be proud of yourself that you survived this, that you survived this bitter person that may have undermined you purposely or inadvertently because of their jealousy, because of their own insecurities. You had no control over your looks. You can't help it if you're beautiful, right? But it's sad when your own parent is jealous of you, of your looks, or of your gifts, or of the attention that you get. And if it's not a parent, like I said, it could be a sibling, close family member. We just see if we can get some information and some clarity for Virgo about this jealous person. Thoughts 16. Someone who had very deep thoughts about you or thinks about you a lot. So it could be a parent. See anything else? This is the Kipper deck. I just wanted to see how this would work. So thank you. Imprisonment. Oh my. Thoughts of imprisonment. So maybe this person was in jail. For some of you, maybe your parent was away in jail. The father figure that couldn't defend you because they didn't know what was going on. Maybe they were in jail, and that's why they didn't know what was going on at home because they weren't there. They were in prison for somebody. But they were thinking about you. Or they were thinking about the mother, the other parent, what they were up to. For somebody, that could be a clue. So maybe you had a father or other parent. Like you could have been in foster care, like I said. But let's say this is just a father, mother, and a child or children. That person was in jail or away, kept away from you for some reason. But they were trying to, they knew the type of person that they had left you with. They knew who your mother was or who the step parent was. They knew. They knew. Anything else from the Kipper deck? You don't want to say anything? Oh, okay. Oh, bad health. Oh, maybe they were hospitalized and was sick. Or maybe this person who was having these bad thoughts about you, maybe it's because they weren't well. They had their own darkness that they were dealing with. This could be what this is. Maybe this person had a mental problem and they were imprisoned in their thoughts. So they want you to understand, maybe for some of you, to have compassion because this person had a mental problem. Somebody could have been a Sagittarius or a fire sign or a Scorpio or another earth sign, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. Could have been a Cancer, because we have the moon here. Adjudication. Yeah, maybe somebody got committed. Maybe somebody was put away, or put away in jail, or put away in a mental hospital. This is or you custody was awarded to someone else because someone had bad health. 29, 31, 30. It's like a progressive thing. Or someone's bad health came about while they were in prison. Mm-hmm. Anything else, please, for Virgo? Virgo. Oof. All right, we're going to get here. Oh, that's too much. Great fortune came out. Poverty is on the bottom of the deck. So maybe this is about you, maybe feeling like an orphan, feeling abandoned as a child. Maybe somebody is going to give you some type of justice that's going to, maybe there's something that you suffered. Maybe you suffered some mental health issues because of this situation. And maybe the judge is going, maybe you're going to have to go to court, or you're going to be awarded something, maybe come into great fortune. It may have something to do with this. Maybe someone who was away from you left you some money because they knew that you were suffering through all of this, and they wanted to do something for you that they couldn't do because they were away in prison, or they were separated from you all because of bad health or something. There could be a trust fund or something that was set up for you that you may not have known about, but maybe that's something that's going to come into your knowledge soon. Because maybe someone had compassion for your situation. Maybe they saw you suffering in silence and didn't say anything either. Again, that could be that other parent, or just somebody else who saw it or felt it. Could even be the parent that did this to you if they passed away. Or even if they come into some good fortune, maybe they'll get some, maybe they'll be doing some reflection and having thoughts about what they did. And in order to clean their bad karma, they're going to share with you. That could be for someone. Don't count on it, but it could happen. Or maybe they'll be ordered to share with you some good fortune, Virgo. So I'm going to get a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck here to close this out. So, Spirit just wants you to know that your situation is acknowledged, and we brought it out, and it's okay to talk about it. You don't have to be ashamed of it, you know, or guilty for things that happened when you were a child. You were a little girl or a little boy. You had no control over any of the behavior of adults. Remember that. And no need for you to take this on yourself and think that it's always going to be like this. It won't always be like this. And someday, some way, the universe is going to make it right for you. Somehow. But you have to be open to it also. You have to recognize that you have been affected by this. And maybe if you're busy doing work or trying to achieve, you're not paying attention to what's at the root of the need that you have to achieve or to prove something to someone. Maybe you want to prove that you were worthy, that you shouldn't have been thrown away or tossed away, that somebody should have taken up for you, that you were worthy of that sacrifice from someone or somebody. So maybe they want you to know that you are worthy, you are already good enough, and everything's going to work out fine for you because you have shown dignity and grace. Mhm. So we get a message in the bottle. So you could be getting a message from spirit, something that could come in the mail. Somebody could be drinking, person in bad health. Somebody could be drinking and spill their guts and tell you the truth about something. For some of you, that may or may not have anything to do with the other part of this reading. But yeah, there's a message that's going to come to you, something that you weren't expecting, but it's going to be love. Maybe an invitation to go on a trip, because I did say someone needs to go on a vacation. But this could be just something that's going to pull you out of a situation. This is number 15, which is 6. So, something that's going to be healing, a vacation. Maybe a voyage, a cruise. Yeah, a cruise. Could be going on a cruise. And that could be healing for you. Or maybe this message. Maybe somebody shares this message with you and it's healing for you. And thank them if that's how you got this message. Thank you. So, other messages for Virgo. We got mending, number 52. So that's a 7. Mending and imagine. So maybe while you're in solitude, while you're meditating, while you're daydreaming, while you're dreaming, you have imagined yourself. You have brought this situation into some kind of completion and mended it. Mended yourself, maybe mended the relationship between yourself and your sibling, or yourself and this person, but I'm thinking yourself and your sibling. Because of this message, this communication that you may get in a dream, or intuitively, or this message here, that's going to give you a opportunity to heal a situation between two people. Could be, like I said, yourself and the parent, or the other parent or sibling. It's going to allow you freedom to start again, to design a new way, to do things differently, to use your imagination and make your life what you want it to be. Number 31, which adds up to 4. Why? So you want to know why this person or this situation happened? Of course, but hopefully you got an answer here. This is about someone else's insecurities that you, as a child, may have been subjected to, things that had nothing to do with you. But you're going to find out, right? You're going to get messages, you're going to get downloads. All you got to do is ask, do the inner work, right? Be a hermit, or continue to be a hermit, and you'll get the answers that you are seeking. And you're going to get to the bottom of all of this. You're going to understand it. Number 47, go to distance. 1 7 is 11. So you can do this, all right? It's meant for you to do. They know that you can do it. Like I said, that's why they gave you this particular task, because they know that you could survive this type of energy, this competition, and you are able to go the distance. If you look real, I don't know if you can see really, but it's like 2 animals. One is right on the side there, and they're going for it. So it's like somebody was constantly on your neck, constant competition, but you kept going, and you made it. You may have left them behind, or they may have given up, or maybe they're still competing with you. Doesn't matter, because you are going to win. No matter how much they try to weigh you down, no matter how much backbiting they do, you're mending the situation because you imagine yourself in this different place. You use your powers of meditation, or you can use those powers of prayer, meditation, and introspection to change the situation, to transmute it into something positive for you. That's what this is. That's what this can be. If you allow yourself to rest, do the work, right? You may be a person that is very popular with men, too, if you're a girl. If you're a female, this may be the other thing. You may be popular with men. You may get along well with men. That was that damsel in distress thing. Okay. So the person that the other person, nemesis, whoever, they could be the damsel in distress person. They could be someone that always feels that men have to come to their rescue, where you are working with the men, where you are not taking from them, you are giving and helpful, but you're learning things there, where they may not think that you're paying attention, but you're picking up a lot of knowledge, right? So you may have had good relationships with men that weren't sexual, but they were platonic relationships, and you learned a lot. And this person may have seen that and was jealous of that also. So maybe you got along with the boys. Maybe you were a tomboy and they weren't able to do that, or they wanted to when they were a girl, and so they were resentful of you. That could just be as simple as that. Maybe you were good in athletics and things like that, and this person wasn't, and they resent you for that. That could be. Could be the other way around. You could have a male parent who you're good in sports and they resent that because they never were that good. Or you could have any parent that's trying to live through your talents vicariously. And you might be feeling that. Or maybe you don't know what it was that you were feeling, but maybe that is what you need to know. That you may have a parent that is living out their dreams through you, Virgo. But have compassion for them because they've been through it too. Maybe they've been through a lot. Maybe their dreams got deferred because they became a parent, or because they were working, because they were in jail. Number of things. So have some compassion and know that this is coming to an end. The situation is going to rectify itself. It's going to come to a completion, but it needed to come because you needed to clear up some past life karma for your ancestors. 9 is the number of completion. 9 is the number of the ancestors in Yoruba. So, and Ifa. So, like I said, they knew that you could do it. They knew that you could do it, and they're very proud of you. But they feel that you've been through enough, and it's time for you to get some peace from this situation, some understanding, answers to those questions, maybe closure that you never got. You're going to get that closure. You're going to get that closure. You're going to understand this situation. This may be the catalyst for that, or something. This will lead towards that, towards more introspection on your part, more healing on your part. So, Virgo, thank you. Is that it, Spirit? Hmm? Okay. So, I hope that this was helpful. And like I said, take a look at that, jealousy that you wouldn't expect, right? From an adult to a child, but it happens. Or from a male parent to a female child, but it happens. Doesn't have to be sexual. It could be. It could be like did I say this? That the female parent thought that the male parent was anything that they showed you, any compassion or sweetness that they showed you, any interest that they showed you, maybe she turned that into something nefarious, something dirty, something, you know. Maybe if they weren't your actual parent, like if they were your stepfather, that could have been another thing. If you could have had a situation like that where you had a step parent, a stepfather, and your own mother was jealous of you with her husband, and that could have been why she treated you the way she did, and it was for no reason, because that step parent was not thinking about you like that, but because of where their mind is and how their mind worked, the mother's mind worked, they could have brought that imprint into your situation. Or maybe there was something like that and they allowed it because they put that person ahead of you as a child. And maybe they allowed something that was inappropriate to happen. And even if it wasn't sexual, it could have been some flirting, touching, words, something. Maybe he gave you allowance and she knew that he was trying to groom you, but it never got to that place, but she allowed it. She didn't stop it. And so instead of her telling him not to give you money, she got mad at you because he was giving you the money. That could be another thing. Could be a sibling that felt that way. Maybe you got along better with a step parent or another parent than they did. Could be anything like that, but whatever it was, you kept it to yourself and you just dealt with it. But it bothered you, and it still bothers you because you didn't understand where this was coming from. But now you wanted to know why. Maybe this will be helpful in giving you those answers. So, thank you, Virgo, so much for allowing me to share this message with you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like and share these messages. Check out the shorts all over the YouTube channel now, and just make sure you like those too. And I'll try to keep putting those up because a lot of them are just funny, and some of them got a lot of messages and other people who are going through this twin flame journey or the spiritual awakening and expressing their experiences throughout. And then there's some cute guys too that are looking for divine feminines, and maybe this will give you all a chance to connect with those guys too, and women too. But I'm picking up the guys and bringing them, doing the shorts with them because there's a lot of them on there, and a lot of them are pretty cute. So it's a distraction also from the other energies that are going on around us, right? It's always good to be distracted or to laugh. Okay, so thanks everybody for allowing me to bring these messages to you, and I'll be talking to everyone very, very soon. I hope you had a good holiday and continue to enjoy the rest of the holiday season. Whenever you see this video, it's meant for you to see it, right? So be good to yourself. Namaste, peace, ashe.